Hello, I'm Amy Horowitz with Informatica. Today, we're talking with Tracy Ring, the Chief Data Officer and Global Generative AI Lead for Accenture in Life Sciences. Good afternoon, Tracy. Welcome.
Hi, Amy. Great to be here.
Great to see you again. So we're going to talk about generative AI and a couple of other topics, but let's just kick it off. So generative AI, I feel like we sit down at dinner, we go to a conference, we talk to our friends. Generative AI is all over the place. It's a favored topic of conversation from boardrooms to dinner tables. Is this already impacting your data strategy and your priorities? And if so, how's it going?
Yeah, it's great. I laughed like somewhere around 700 conversations last year. I simply quit counting. I knew it had really made an enormous resurgence when it became a topic where my family, who has never known or understood what I do very well, all of a sudden totally got it. And I think that's the magic of where we are now, right? Generative AI is ubiquitous. Everybody's using it for everything. And whether it's a co-pilot or whether you're using it to create your holiday cards, everybody has it in their hands. And that's a magical, wonderful, and exciting place to be.
I love it. So there are risks. We've heard about risk involved with generative AI. How are you balancing the opportunities with risk? Are you running into risk today? And can you explain a little bit about how that's working with you?
Yeah, I think interestingly, so I work and live only in life sciences. So that would be pharmaceutical products, medical devices, pharmaceutical distribution organizations. So patient is paramount, right? There's nothing more important than protecting our patients, right? And so while there is this amazing juxtaposition of being able to influence and compress bringing new therapeutics to market and being able to care for patients in new and innovative ways, it can never be at the cost of a data breach. It can never be at the cost of exposing anything that would put anyone or a healthcare provider at risk. So I would say that within life sciences, it is extremely interesting. It is somewhere where we see lots and lots of activity as it relates to proof of concepts, proof of technologies, areas where we're thinking about micro compression. But as far as total reinvention of the entire value chain, it's something that everyone is looking at with a very keen eye into how to be responsible, how to be ethical, and how to do so in a way that opportunity doesn't come with some of the things that I think other industries have grappled with. Because when we're thinking about patients and healthcare, the stakes are extremely high. You know, you see a lot of studies around the comparative of new drug discovery in comparison to self-driving automobiles, right? Self-driving has notoriously been one of the most complex, highest risk areas. Most organizations would consider that self-driving automobiles are far less risky and far less complex compared to bringing new drugs to the market. And so a lot of focus on how to be responsible and ethical.
Amazing, amazing. So it's interesting, when we're talking about folks that have never dealt with AI or not coming from outside of this industry, what we see today is that customers and prospects and people in our field are really driving towards self-service and self-service capabilities to really leverage generative AI. How are you today, Tracy, training your teams across your organization to take advantage of these new capabilities, or are you guys doing that today?
Yeah, I think absolutely. So first is reinventing the way that we think about process. Like one of my clients has taken a very provocative standpoint and is upskilling over 10,000 of their employees, right? And so what they're doing is trying to arm individuals with, co-pilots and things that can be one of the tools in their toolkit, right? How do they think about doing things that are, historically mundane or error prone or repetitive, right? How can they transform? I would call those the no regrets, right? What are the things that everyone else industry-wide is doing that you can immediately adopt and create what I think is kind of a magical experience, which is workers are happier, employees are finding more joy in their jobs. Individuals that went to school for finance are actually doing finance and they're not doing data munging and crunching, right? Things that we've talked about forever. So amazing opportunity in using that to instill trust, which I would say is the foundation of a responsible AI strategy. and using that trust to then think about how do you work on some of those strategic items across the value chain that are really transformative. And so I would say self-service is really about the foundation of getting that organizational buy-in, that stickiness and readiness confirmed.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So that actually you have a great segue into my next topic, and that really is digital transformation in organizations today. We know that customers, prospects, folks in our industry and outside of our industry are really accelerating digital transformation. That could be across the business, that could be in IT, finance, marketing. Most people see digital transformation as a company-wide initiative, if you will. And we're generating more and more data today than we ever thought we would be doing. I know 10 years ago, I never thought we would have as much data as we have today. And this means more and more lines of business users really need to leverage this data. How are you doing the balancing act of democratizing the data and empowering data consumers while ensuring the responsibility of how they use that data? You hit on it a minute ago, but can you deep dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I'll share, I talk a lot about my role as generative AI leader and don't all the time get to share that I am still our chief data officer. And so that means that a lot of conversations start with generative AI, but they ultimately always go back to where's your data, how important that asset is. And I've seen some, as individuals are getting more into self-service and that are thinking about their role in that data value chain, right? So we are accustomed to Google telling us or suggesting what they think that we were searching for. We have so many things where I expect all of my streaming services to anticipate which music or TV shows that I'm going to want, right? So as humans, we're so accustomed to this. And so what we're seeing is this infusion of this digital nudge, right? So if I'm contributing to the data, if I know that that data later is going to be used for something, I'm going to be far less likely to put in something to just fill in the blanks and get to the next step of the workflow. If I understand which decisions will be made, and so this idea, and we're used to sort of haptics on our wrist or things like this that are digitally nudging us, of educating, here's where that data is going to flow through. Here's the impact of putting something in there, or for just simply skipping a process, right? I think Informatica has always been the champion of the importance of data quality and the digital backbone, right? I think now is our opportunity to bring and make the idea that everybody is not only a data consumer, but a data creator, and that they can positively impact that asset, which I would argue in most organizations is probably one of their most incredible balance sheet assets is their data.
Right. Great. Tracy, thank you so much for your time today. Look forward to catching up again later. Thanks.
You too. Bye.